throw more light on JavaScript type conversion. So let's look at data type conversion first. So automatic data type conversion in JavaScript. So let's say this will be a data type conversion, but this is going to run on auto. That means how JavaScript actually converts data types by itself. So we're going to use our print type, which we like best. So here we'll be looking at how JavaScript interprets every data we put in this document.write. So let's say our first one will be, we have 4 here inside a double quote, and then we have a minus, maybe 3 here. Okay, I'm gonna add more, so let me do this. I'm going to do a repetition of that, and then let me add a break here. Okay, so here let's see how JavaScript interpret that. This one, JavaScript, it's gonna interpret it like this minus this. So that means this operation here actually works perfectly for JavaScript. According to the normal maths we know, it's gonna divide it from a 4 as a standalone 4 without turning it into a normal string, which it will not understand. So that will print 4. What if we have we have another one which is gonna be plus here? Let's see what JavaScript got for us. Plus, it's gonna display 43, which is 43, but this is supposed to be 7 instead of 43. So that means if you use a minus here, it's gonna subtract, but if you use a plus, it's just gonna print these two values for you, that is 4 and then 3. So that is how automatically JavaScript interprets its types. So let's look at the third one. The third one will be doing, let's do a plus here, but the plus here, the first one will not be in a string, but rather the second one will be in a string like this. So opposite of what we've been doing at the top there. Then let's check what we get here. So basically the same. If it's gonna be plus, whether being it inside a quote here and without a quote here, is still interpreted just like same as the one above. Let's check another one where we'll be having multiplications. So let's say we have this in the, let's say we have both in a quote, but it's multiplication. What happens? We have 4 times 3, which is 12. So this actually works in the normal way we think mathematics should work, and then this one as well. But this is no, it only prints the number. So automatically that is how JavaScript sees that number. What if we have something like a 10 divided by 2, but we have the 2 also inside a quote? So let's have 2 here, then we have our division here. Okay, so 10 divided, let's see what we got, 5. So that also works like the normal maths we know. So we need to be very cognizant of what we are doing with JavaScript, because each value and operators we add displays differently. So we need to be very aware of how we are using it in any of our code. So let's say here we want to convert this to a simple number. So let's say we have an integer plus a string. So let's say an integer plus a boolean string like true, and let's see what we got. We got exactly what? 2. This is interesting. So what it does is it's converting the true to 1, because boolean true is always 1 and false is always assigned to 0. So it sees this as what? As 1, and then 1 plus 1 will give you the 2 there. So that is JavaScript type conversion. And let's say we have the same as we got up here, but we're gonna do it plus. Instead of plus true, we're gonna do plus false here. So here, then we go false, then we see what we got here. So we got 1 there because this is interpreted into 0. So 1 plus 0 will give you a 1. So that is the automatic type conversion for false plus 1. Then let's say we have 1 plus undefined. What should we get? In JavaScript we should get a none. So undefined, so undefined should get a none here, because doesn't really understand what it's here. So what if we duplicate this, and then we have maybe a number plus a null? We'll be printing only the number out, because a null means there's nothing there. So we'll print only the number out. So this is a whole lot of type conversions in JavaScript which you should be aware of. So this automatically happens in JavaScript. So when you are applying any of this, you should know how it's going to behave in JavaScript, so you don't get minor errors in your code. So let's see how we can convert a string to number. So let's say converting string to number. Okay, so let me clear all this, and then to convert string to number, for example, let's say we have this str is equal to a number, and the number we have 1 2 3 in there. Okay, so if we have 1 2 3 in there, let's try it. Document dot write, and then we have let's check the type of this string, this number here, but it's inside a quote, so definitely it's gonna be a string here. Yeah, because that is how JavaScript interprets it, because it's in the quote. So let's do document dot write. I'm just gonna add extra code, that is why I'm having this one here. So let's have a br here. Okay, so we got the type of this to be a string. Okay, how about we want to convert that into a number instead of a string? Then what we got to do is to have the same thing here, and then we say this will be equal to a different variable. Let's say num here, and then we have num here, then we have number. So now we want to convert this string into number, so we have to call number, and then now we call the string that is the variable of the string here, and that will convert this into a number instead of a string by calling this number here and then passing in the variable, then it will change the type to a number. So as we see a number here. So that is how we convert the type from string to numbers using this number method here to convert it. So now what if we want to convert a Boolean value to string? So yeah, let's do Boolean to strings. Okay, so to do Boolean to string, it's basically the same thing we're gonna do here, but let's have a variable of bool, and then let's assign this to true, which is a typical Boolean. Okay, so instead to have the variable str here, we'll have a bool here. And then here we're gonna have this one print out a Boolean, but in order to convert it into a string, we need to have this variable called here, and then we call the string here. So let me see. Okay, so num here. So let me print. So the first one is showing the Boolean, but the second one, what is wrong? Yeah, string is spelled wrongly here. So I do string, and then we have a string. So we've converted a Boolean into a string by calling the string method for that. So what if we want to convert numbers to string? To convert numbers to string, so let's say want to convert numbers to string. Let me comment this. Well, here we can simply do numbers to string by calling strings on numbers, so like this, and then let's say we have 10.5, and this is gonna display 10.5 inside a quote. So definitely the type of this will be string. So if we want to check the type of this one, it's strictly gonna be string because we're calling a string on it. But what if we want to print or convert something like true, which is a Boolean? What it will convert to, it will still convert it to true, but the type of it is gonna be actually string. So for example, let me delete this and then have this one here. Okay, so if we have true or false in here, since we called that inside a string, it to change its type. By default, it's actually a 1, so it's an integer or a Boolean. So this is gonna be true, and the type of it is actually string. Okay, so this is how we convert numbers to string, by just calling on the string and passing in the number, and then it's gonna give us the string. So we can check the type of a string by using simply the type of and assigning this one into a variable, or this into a variable, and then we do a type of, which we've already experimented that. So what if we want to convert values to Boolean? So converting values, it can be numbers or strings to Boolean. So it can be numbers So let's say in general, let's say value. Okay. So in order to convert a number to a boolean, we need to call the boolean here and then pass in a number here. For example, if we pass in 0, this should print a false for us here, because 0 is a false and it has converted this into the boolean string, which is false. So what if we want to try, oh no, let me have this one here. Gonna print extra ones. So let's say we have a boolean and we want to convert boolean. Now what should we have? We're gonna have false there because it doesn't know what's in there. So anytime a boolean is not true, so definitely it doesn't know what is in there, it's gonna be false. So what if we do a boolean false, and let's see what comes out. False, it's gonna be the same false, we know. And what about undefined? Undefined should also bring false. So undefined, because it's not true. Anything not true in boolean will automatically be false. What about none? None should also be false. So anything which is not true automatically will be false. So what about if we have something like empty field, which is empty, nothing in there, is simply still gonna be let me see, true. Yes, but what if we have there's something in here, so it will be true, but when there's nothing in there, that means there's a space. There's no space, so it's false. But this, when there's space, means yes, something is happening there, so it's true. So this is how JavaScript converts space. When you convert a space into boolean, it's gonna give you true, but when there's no space inside, an open bracket, no space, then it's gonna give you false. So let's see again. I'll convert this. I close or delete the space in there, and then it goes to false. Okay, I open again and save, it goes true. Okay, so this, now we're gonna try a boolean for false, which is actually a boolean. It's gonna return what? False, because it's false. So false, let me see, false here. Okay, false here without a string will return a false, but false with with double quotes around it. Double quote around it will return what? True. So that means it really sees the false when it's not in a code, because it automatically converts that into an integer, which is false, means it's 0, so it's gonna go false. But if it's in double quotes, then it's gonna convert it to string, and string will convert that into what? Into a true value. Okay. So this is how we can do most of the conversion from other values into boolean in JavaScript.